Hello and a very warm welcome back to the old shop. It's a beautiful March afternoon and I'm doing some work in the garden. It's lovely to be back. It feels like quite a long time since I made a video, probably because it is a long time. Spring is really in the air, if not all around us, with the beautiful blue sky today and all the birds singing. It felt like the right time to start making some videos again. So I'm just going to keep them quite simple. I'll probably break this straight away, but my idea is just to keep them quite simple, but then to put more videos out so that you can really follow along with as things are happening here and as the new life unfolds in the garden. So I'm hoping that by keeping things as simple as I can, I'll be able to actually put out more videos, and it will be, I think it's just better record really, rather than long gaps and then things have changed hugely. I'd rather show you things as they go along, and also obviously when there are ideas, rather than sitting on them, I'll just make a video about them. Well, that's the idea anyway. So I hope you'll join me. I'd love to have your company, and let's get started. Today I thought I'd show you somewhere we haven't actually looked at together before, and that's partly because I've only just discovered it myself this week. So it was really ridiculous because I come down here as part of my, well, usually early morning walk. It's not that early today because I thought I'd come here with my flask for coffee time instead, but I come down here a lot, and you may have seen pictures of this little bridge and the water. I am very selective about what I usually show because I'll show you the reality here. It comes out under the bridge, which, as I say, you've seen before, it looks very pretty, but then it just goes to this very unattractive kind of, well, you can see on the surface of the water. And I think that's because it's an agricultural ditch. It's not really a stream, although I call it a stream. It's a channel, not a ditch, and it seems to go completely still. And that's because it's been made to go over this little stone, or I suppose it's probably concrete in this part of the world, because we don't have natural stone in Norfolk. Well, obviously it can be imported, but they wouldn't do that for something like this, quite workaday, which is kind of comes back to what I've been saying, that where I live is actually quite a workaday, what I'd call a kind of workaday area, although I show you the bits that I find beautiful, and they are beautiful, but you have to look for the beauty, which is part of what I like to do in my work anyway, because it's to do with re-enchantment and enchantment having never gone away. Anyway, enough of that for now. So I just thought I'd show you this because this is what it's because it's agricultural. I suppose there's runoff of the fields, you know, it's not idyllic in that sense, but beyond that, which is where I had not been before, is really lovely. It's really lovely. It does link in, if you look at a map, which I did yesterday, I can see that it does link in the end to the 100 stream, which is a very interesting stream, which I've shown you me looking for the source in another video. What I haven't done is just think to walk down the bank and look at the actual stream from that angle. When you get beyond this unpleasant area where it comes to a standstill, and I think it comes to a standstill because it doesn't flow naturally. So of course, once it's done its little falling over the step, it then just comes to a halt. But that doesn't stop it having beautiful wildlife and being, well, I mean, you can see probably the reeds shimmering in the sun today. So what we'll do is I'll take you down to the actual edge, which we have seen before, then I'll come back up and we'll walk along the bank together. So this is what I do pretty much every day, usually just early in the day, just after or just before breakfast, but I come down here. And actually this is where I once saw, and I always look again because I saw it once, a water shrew just scurrying around on the opposite bank. And here you can see, and again, I'm giving you the full story today. I don't know whether you want the full story or whether you prefer the enchanting one, but it is enchanting. I suppose I'm trying to show you that anywhere, if you look at it in the right eyes, you can see the beauty or the interest. So today I'm giving you the full picture, so I'm not trying to hide this unattractive area here, and you can see here that going under the bridge is a blue pipeline, which I usually avoid when I'm videoing, so it looks like a little mountain stream or some such, but actually we are in agricultural land. I don't quite know what this pipe is all about, but I think it probably feeds animal water troughs further down in the field. There are sometimes cattle down just a little way along here, and there is a trough for them. So I think that's what the blue piping's all about. But obviously, it's not like an idyllic scene. So I've sat here time after time. In fact, I've photographed some of my candle pots, the River Song candles, just here on the bank, for example. And I've looked across here and I've videoed across the edge of the stream like this. And forgive me for continuing to call it a stream, because that's essentially what it is, in a way. So, but what I hadn't done until a couple of days ago was just simply to walk along the edge there and see what happened. And now that I have, I'm addicted to it. So I hope you'll join me, and I'll pop up the bank again and make a start. So here we are. I've found the path along the edge. You can see I have to go through a bit of broken birch. And I don't think this path is actually made by humans, but by animals and swans as well, because I've seen swans down here. And there are little areas where they seem to go into the water. What I'd really love to think is that they might be otters, and I have never seen an otter in the wild. I know plenty of people who have. They are around. Whether they'll be around in this environment, I don't know. There might be something about this particular way this has been cut out that it wouldn't attract otters. I don't know. But I think if they wanted to be here, they would find a way. And I suppose also it depends whether there are fish. I don't know whether there are. I haven't seen fish. So if I pan the camera around, you'll see that this is woodland, and it's mainly alder. And it would be little islands of alder like it is on the other side of the lane if it was wetter. But I suppose it's not. It's just a little bit higher, the land here, so it doesn't flood. I suppose it might do in extreme weather, but I haven't known it to be flooded. I've known it to be muddy, but not flooded. But it's got the same kinds of appearance of a valley bottom, and how it would have been, well, for hundreds, thousands of years ago, before they'd made a stream like this. The water would still have flowed somewhere, and so it would have been much wetter. So where I'm pointing the camera now is just, we're looking towards the lane, and you can just see the bridge there again. And at the edge, all along the edge there on the lane, is brilliant for wild garlic, and bluebells also are all sprouting up at the edges. Not as many in the middle, because it comes to a point where it's a little bit too little light for them, but the wild garlic is just incredible, which I'm sure we'll look at some point. And you might remember from last year that I showed you the sea of wild garlic as well. I thought it would be a nice day today to come and show you this for the first time. This is only the third time I've walked along here myself, and I haven't explored as far as I might do, but I've just gone as far as I'm going to go today, and I'm going to have some coffee there because I've brought my flask with me. I'm interested in how the water gives the appearance of flowing, and you would think that it was, but actually it's only flowing because the wind pushes it. And I know that because the way it's running is actually towards a dead end, right down, well, beyond another couple of fields, but it comes to a terminus, and in fact I've videoed there before now among the birch trees. But anyway, so what I'm saying is, it just shows how deceptive it is, because it looks like a flowing river, and the power of the wind, because it's windy, it's breeze, but it's not ultra windy today at all. Love the colour of it with the sun on it as well. It's quite mesmerising. stopped just here where this willow tree leans over, because as I approached, the same thing happened yesterday when I was here actually. I heard a plop as something jumped into the water, and I don't know what it was, but it was living and didn't like me being here, and I've just crouched down really quietly. Well, obviously I'm not being quiet now because I'm talking to you, but I was really quiet for about 5 minutes, but I couldn't even see any air bubbles coming up. So I don't know what that was. I don't think it was an otter, having just talked about otters. I don't think it was a big enough sound, although it was a fair sized sound. So waterfowl perhaps, but I'm not sure how long they can stay underwater. Anyway, I shall keep you posted if anything happens. We've come as far as I'd planned to go, but actually we're in the shade here, so I'm going to move on a little bit to have my coffee. But I thought you might like to see this really old and huge oak. Look at that. And it's still standing. It's obviously seen a lot in its lifetime, but it's still putting out fresh buds. I'll just walk around the bottom of it here. I do feel quite safe. I know that it might look a bit precarious, but it's not that windy today, and I think it's been looking like this for quite a while. And as you can probably see, the sky today is absolutely glorious. There was one of it, clearly there was once another one here. I think it was a separate tree. And then you can see from this angle how the roots of the big tree go right over the water. These are all bramble vines. You can see how they've taken over. I'm going to come out from here and through a curtain of brambles, currently without their leaves. I absolutely love this time of year when you get a really warm and sunny day like it is today, but everything is actually down at its most bare and basic. As I know there are buds coming if you look closely on the trees, but I just love the way the bracken is still kind of crushed down, its bare bones. The colours are still amazing, and where you get a little bit of green, like I don't know if you can see the bottom of the tree over there, just a tiny little touch of green. But nature's actually getting going again with it all. You can, well, honeysuckle starts putting out its leaves in the winter time really, but it's just a hint of the greenery that's to come. You can see how the oak tree fell and has since been completely covered over with brambles and with the bracken growing up against it as well, and getting covered with moss. I found a nice sunny and sheltered spot here among the roots of this tree, which is an oak, and I should go sit here and have my coffee and then get back and get on in the garden. I'm going to show you what I'm doing there as well, because things are moving in the garden just a little bit after the winter. Everything's very dry and crackly at the moment. I hadn't realised how long it's been since it's rained, but it's clearly been quite a long time, because everything is really loud as you walk on it, and all the dry twigs are cracking as well. So I'm going to go back now, and I've had my coffee, which was very nice, and because it's so dry it was just easy to sit down on the ground. And I had a porridge pot as well, and in another video I'll show you how I actually pimp my porridge before I even leave home, and how I keep it hot, and how I think that it's one of the best picnics to take out and about with you. If you think it's, oh dear, it's single-use plastic, I reuse the pots as plant containers by putting a few drainage holes in the bottom. They're really good for things like courgettes and beans, which need a bigger pot to start them off in. There I was showing you the beautiful sunshine and blue sky earlier, but actually it is only March and evenings are still pretty chilly, and in fact it was raining, it just started drizzling this afternoon when I was doing some gardening. I'll show you the front garden in another video soon, but I did say I was going to keep it simple, so I'm going to keep that for the next video and just show you the fire because it's going so beautifully and keeping me really cosy here. I'll just pop a bit of wood on before I shut the door. So I've got a chunk actually. I'll just wait a second. There we are. It's really cosy. It's perfect for this room. And I've also got, oh, it's rather hot to touch. I've got my River Song candle vessel that I reuse for hot chocolate. It's my hot chocolate cup. So I'm all cosy. I'm going to have an evening in as usual. I don't know about you, but I could just sit and watch the fire for a really long time. But I will get up shortly. But anyway, I've got my hot chocolate to drink first. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be back again soon with more from the old shop. See you soon.